Sometimes it's nice to just take a moment and listen to birdsong. Hello my thrifties, welcome back. It's Geranium+, Canada, and this is Thrift Haul number 16. Today we're going to be going over some vintage linens. I've got this old choir robe, and I've got this old mohair wool blanket. I'll also be discussing these old laundering tools. So I've got this vintage washboard, and I'll show you how to get washboard abs, and this old cast iron clothing iron. Also, I have this little French terrine from the 1960s that I'll be going over today. For those of you that like the gardening segment of my video, today we're going to be pruning this lemon geranium that I have. It's always nice on one side when it starts to grow in the summer, and then the other just kind of gets let go. So we'll do that, and then I'll give you guys a little update of what's popping around the garden. So grab a drink, relax, and let's get started. Are you tired of doing pull-ups and sit-ups and the plank, but you want washboard abs? Now for $79.99 and half the time, I give you economy brand washboard abs. Just string them and fling them. And you watch. All right, now let's get a little more serious. I came upon this at the thrift shop and I had it in my hands. An elderly man stopped me and was checking it out, and he said, "Wow, I have not seen one of those since I was a child." He said that he used to have to wash his clothes on one of these when he was a kid in a big tub with soap by hand, and he remembered how it hurt his knuckles. I asked the man where he grew up, and he said that he grew up in a super small village north of Thunder Bay. That was the boonies. This, you used to have to put these irons on the wood stove, and that's why that handle was removable, because you could choose. You had different sizes you could buy depending on what you were laundering, and the one handle worked on everything. The clip still works beautifully, and there's an excellent patina. By the way, patina is when oils surface to the top of something. It happens mainly with wood and with leather. But I gotta say, for something that old to still work, they just don't make things like they used to. So terrines first saw the light of day during antiquity between the years of 54 and 68 AD under the Roman Empire of Nero. These pots were described as vessels that held heavily spiced ground meats, either fish or beef. Now, this one, not quite as old as the antiquity ones, but this one was made in the 60s in Alsace-Soufflenheim, which is in France. It's a German settlement which is now renowned for their pottery. Now let's head over to Scotland where this blanket was made. You guys know me and my mohair blankets. If you've seen my other videos, I've always picked these up. So this one was made in Scotland and is 70% mohair and 30% wool. This is my favorite out of all of my mohair blankets. Academic choir apparel number 45, made in California. How this choir robe ended up in Northern Ontario 7 years ago, I have no idea. But when it came out during the Halloween season, I could not resist paying the couple dollars that I did for this. It served me very well at Halloween parties, costume parties, even just when we used to be able to have people over, this thing would always make an appearance. All right, so we're going to prune this lemon geranium plant, which a lot of people call a citronella. The only tools I have are my watering can. I have these actually vintage German chicken shears that I use in the garden, and I have a discard pot for the remnants. What's great about citronella actually is that once it's dried like this and it's burned, it actually gives off this beautiful aroma. So if ever you have a plant like this and you're having to prune it, keep the cuttings, because throw that in a fire and it actually is supposed to help with mosquitoes. I don't even mind if it helps with mosquitoes. I just think it adds a beautiful scent to your fire. Let's do this. So there's no rhyme or reason here. I'm just cutting off big pieces that are dead. Even though these parts were dead, there is actually still some life on them, on the tips. But I don't want this plant to put its energy into little greenery that's at the end of dead stuff. I want it to focus on this big, beautiful, lush stuff. So, this I'll keep, that I'll keep. And I'm just gonna clean this up down here. And that's pretty much it. So, even though the hard parts of this plant actually look like they're dead, they are still bringing nutrients. And do you know what? Last time that I cut this, all my new growth came on the dead looking branch. So be weary. You want to cut off the dead branches, but you also want to leave some to give an opportunity for new life to strive on it. So that's pretty much it. Let me close these up.